Hello, everyone. Thank you for waiting for us. Sorry for the delay. I'm really sorry. I don't know. The event was rescheduled, and I don't know. Maybe someone, the calendars of someone were not updated. So once again, sorry. But now we are ready for starting our event. And today, Dmitry is going to talk about cross-functional BA competencies. First of all, I would like to mention that we have a kind of competition for the best question. So in the end of the speech, we will have Q&A session, and the best question will be granted by the badge. So please be active, be proactive, and I think we can start. Dmitry, the floor is yours.
Sure. Yes, sure. Hello, colleagues. Hello, guys. Hello, fans of business analysis. Thank you so much, Tatiana, for this short introduction. And I think that, guys, you know this topic. This topic is extremely important. I guess because a lot of us just conducted a lot of functions on our projects, and this is not a common. This is not a rare situation when a business analyst at the project should combine maybe on periodical basis, maybe on temporary basis. Yeah, we can say maybe on permanent basis some kind of functions. So it depends. It depends on a lot of things that could be at the project, and we need to know what is the best approach, and do we have some kind of chance to get the secondary or third skill in general. Yep. And what are we going to do with that? How we can combine in general this a couple of roles? Maybe we have some kind of approach. Maybe we have some kind of practical rules for that. And this is really, really interesting topic and interesting, I can say, area. Yeah, separate area when a business analyst just provide some broad approach. And at the same time, deep dive approach, yep, to develop his competencies. So I think that we can start, and as usually, maybe some of you saw previously my webinars. I am Dmitry Lozovitsky, Chief Business Analyst, Ukraine, and we can start. This is short information about me. And what about our agenda? I think that we will start our conversation from simple things, but really interesting things for our understanding. First two blocks of our content will provide to you understanding why key project roles should have cross-functional competency in general. What is the practical sense of business analyst role cross-functional competency? Yep. And the next two blocks contains information about actually some kind of model, because, you know, guys, we trying to provide to you maximum value that could be applied in practice after our webinars. So that is why, as usually, you won't came out from this webinar without any kind of practical tools that you can use immediately after our session. So also we going to review some kind of 10 recommendations how we can develop BA cross-functional competency in general, and of course we have some time, I guess up to 20 minutes for your questions, and we will be really appreciate for your questions, because only in discussion the real sense will be born. Yep. In general. So the truth at the middle, as we know from some proverb. And I think that we can start as usually from one interesting quote. This time I provided a quote that was said by Warren Buffett. Everyone knows this person. This is a great businessman and investor in the world. So business process as a water stream, you can have only two options: to be in process or be out of it. And the second part of this phrase is really, really valuable for us. In the first case, you could be in the process driver role. Yep. In the second, you will be an outsider. What does it mean for us in context of this topic? I think that the main idea of this phrase applicable, to this topic is the next, that business analyst as one of key project role should always, again, guys, always be in mainstream. Yeah, and that is why, because a lot of reasons. We are a business analyst, yeah. So we are key project roles, and a lot of communications, a lot of things we drive in general, yeah, we drive. And I think that in that case, it means for us that we need to have some wide corridor or the broad area of our vision, what we're going to do, how we're going to interact, and what is the cross lines between actually our zones of responsibility and zones of responsibility of our project roles, how we can combine them, how we can help our colleagues to provide much more value on our projects. So we need to be in mainstream. And I think this is a great idea when we have some free time. Yeah, I know this is not easy thing for us, but in general, when you going to have some free time, and when you just spend this time to some retrospective of your activity in general, I mean on your all kind of experience that you have on your way as a business analyst, you can see that in a lot of cases you did not pure business analyst work. And this is normal case for us because business analyst is a universal soldier or employee role, yeah, at the project. And just think about that when you will have some free time, and you will get definitely some kind of proofs of this idea. Let's go forward. The first slide is about the reasons why key project roles should have a cross-functional competency in general, or should provide the cross-functional competency. It doesn't mean that let's have some agreement statement at the start point of our discussion that cross-functional competency of business analyst role doesn't reject pure business analyst role idea at the project in general. Yeah, this is some kind of evolution of this role, evolution way of this role of business analyst role at the project. So based on this statement, based on this condition, let's think and review all kinds of materials that we have right now. So the first slide, why key project roles should have a cross-functional competency? We have not much reasons for that in reality. And if you can see on this, as you see on this diagram, we have 4 groups of reasons. Yep. First one, different project issues. So we need to provide our shoulder when our colleagues needs some help. Definitely. So that is why business analyst just could temporarily doing some work that is not in his zone of responsibility. And the second reason, the second group of reason, project organizational structure and roles, functions specific. Yep. And this is most interesting group of the reasons because it depends. It depends on different kinds of things. Especially, first of all, it depends on organizational culture that every company has. Yeah, because in each company company has. In each case, company has different specific how this company going to organize roles, functions, roles, interaction, in general, how these companies build some kind of project organizational structure, and so on. So that is why, yep, we can have some kind of combinations or combining of this role of different roles, specific of different roles on the project, and we need to understand the specific of these roles in details to combine them to make a multiple effect when we have some very cool professional employee, and this employee could cover more than we expected, and for example, more than expected our client. This is also true, yep, and this case is really common case, especially in the companies, medium-sized and small IT companies, yep, because big enterprise size IT companies, they have some kind of tendency or trend to specify the project roles because they have enough employee resources. The third group of reason is situation support. When it means for us that we could have some kind of situation or case at the project when some role can't continue his work because of different reasons. Personal issues, health issues, maybe some kind of strict compliance from client side, and somebody at the project should cover this work temporarily. Yep. And the last one is our simple reason, yeah, or group of reason, not group but reason, budget restrictions. Yeah. So we have a lot of cases in our practice, especially I think in your previous experience as well, when you know facts about economy of budget at the projects from managerial side, and if our managers in project team they have, because we have account manager, we could have project manager, delivery manager, etc., project coordinator, all managers. So if they see that somebody, for example, a business analyst, can conduct a little bit more work or can support different kind of areas and processes, why not? It's money saving process, yep. And this is also reason why. So we have 4 groups. I think if you guys knows maybe other examples, you can provide your information in our chat during our webinar. It's also will be valuable and interesting information for the next discussion. But in general, I think more than 90% of these cases, of all cases, when business analyst has some kind of cross-functional competency at the projects and cross-functional role at the project, is covered, yeah, is covered by these cases, yep. And I think this is a key reasons. This is a key reasons that provides to us some interesting thoughts about T-shaped personal development approach. Yeah. So everyone knows about T-shaped model. It's not a new thing, but this thing works. And definitely, if we just remind to ourselves some kind of idea about T-shaped approach, you can see, guys, on the screen that idea is simple. We need to deep dive in functional and disciplinary skills, for example, in business analysis skills. But at the same time, we need to have ability to apply knowledge across situation, yeah, and across other functions at the project. But for what? This is the main question. For what? Why we should cover new knowledge, not only in business analysis area, in project management area, in delivery management area, in architecture, software architecture area, in development process. I mean, first of all, not as a developers in pure sense of this word, but the guys who can understand how this software development cycle looks like, what kind of specific steps we have in development process, what kind of objects we use, etc., etc. in general. But we need to know that. Why? Because we going to interact with development team and we need to estimate a lot of things together. We need to explain a lot of things together to our client and management side, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. So we have the role, we have the list of the areas where we should have some knowledge, definitely. And this knowledge will help us to be in shape form with all kind of challenges of the project. And as you can see, guys, I added some kind of interesting results that we can expect from T-shape business analyst role at the project. First of all things that we going to develop with T-shape approach personally will increase our flexibility of thoughts, but more than important thing, flexibility in actions. Why? Because we can see not only helicopter view or microscope view, we can see the full picture in 3D regime. Yeah. All things that can happen on the project could have some influence on the project results, etc., etc., etc. So flexibility in reactions, flexibility in actions. Why? Because we have a knowledge, because we have an experience. The second one, fast interaction. Sure, because when you know something, definitely you can explain to somebody definitely what should be done in details in simple form. This is speed up of our work process. This is useful influence, I can say, on our work. The third one is solution creation. Definitely, business analyst is one of the key role that applies to the process of solution creation. Yeah, and when you have good knowledge, good practice, you can easily create some kind of decisions. So the main things, the main key abilities that this T-shaped approach in our business analyst case should bring to the business to the project. Yep, in general, as a personal characteristics of business analyst is a flexibility, fast interaction, and solution creation. Let's go forward. Atomic teamwork design approach. Why we talking about T-shaped model previously? Because this is a simple illustration or simple model, yeah, a graphical model, simple graphical model. And you can see, guys, that in the center we have at this picture we have the key project roles, just common key project roles in 90% of IT projects, yep, on team level. Of course, I don't speak about the highest levels, yeah, of management, etc., etc. No, on team level. And as you can see, guys, every team, these roles connected with each other. So they looks like as an atomic, yep, or atom, yeah, structure. They looks like as an atom structure. And we have in practical area this approach that the name of this approach, atomic teamwork design. Yeah? Atomic teamwork design. And this atomic teamwork design provide to us a little bit more understanding about specific of role definition. And as you can see, role could be changed, role could be replaced, as we have in on a physical level in atoms. Yeah, and we can say that definition of role means for us a couple of things. First of all, this is a part you play. You can have one role in one team and another role at the same on another project in another team. Yeah. It could happen. It's not a rare case in our practice. Means job or function. Yes, sure. This is a classical understanding of role. And status is our relative project company position within a group. So roles could be changed. Roles could be combined. This is real life, and this is a flexibility of our interaction. When some roles could be added, some roles could be divided. When you should have some ability to cover a little bit more work from another side, from the side of other roles, etc. So this is a live structure. At the same time, this structure is fixed, as we have in atomic interconnection, in atomic connections, yeah. And at the same time, this is the flexible structure because different parts of atom could be changed in theory and on practice. So that is why this is additional information that you maybe should use for the better understanding when you faced with some situations when you need to conduct something, some roles at your projects as well. Yeah. So don't be scared. Everything is manageable. And I think that the most interesting solutions and abilities and professional characteristics, I am convinced in that they are born on the edge. At the edge, yeah, and definitely only at the edge we can see the progress. So that is why it's extremely important if you want to grow with your career level, if you want to, if you plan to have some kind of evolution way of your business analyst role, you definitely should identify which kind or what kind of area or what kind of knowledge I should cover, what kind of role I should try to go forward. It's evolution process. This is a normal process. So please don't scare about that and be a fan of this approach. Let's go forward. The role in teamwork interaction model. So we know that we have the key team roles. And this is not new information for you guys, but this is some kind of accents that you can see on the screen why business analyst is integrative role. I can say that cross-functional sense of business analyst role equal integrative role. Definitely, because any other role at the project doesn't have any so much relationships, yep, with different roles and deep dive at the same time in different areas. So business analyst role is a core role on team level. I mean, first of all, core for a couple of things: to understand what is going on different levels in different areas, to communicate, to interact, and to provide some kind of support. So on this scheme, you can see, for example, what is the main essence of business analyst interaction with the client team, with project management, with product management or product owner, development team, and delivery management in general. So I think this is a one more try to highlight visibility of business analyst role at the project. You can use these materials when you're going to speak with your client. You can use these materials, this scheme, schema, yeah. When you're going to talk with your team, with your delivery management, etc. Don't forget about that. And this interaction is ongoing activity. So this atomic teamwork design approach means for us a lot of work, a lot of connection behind different kind of roles. And I want to present, I think, my personal vision that I created a year and a half ago, approximately a year and a half ago, when I started to discover this topic about BA's cross-functional role. Yeah. As you can see, this is a model that describes the different ways or paths that BA, business analyst, could cover, and the main sense and the main value, guys, for you when you're going to use this model. Please use that. It's not a problem. So the main idea of this model is the next, that if you want to grow in some direction, for example, in project management, as you can see on the screen, in delivery management, in product owning, product management in general, product management area, you should understand and you should estimate what kind of areas you could cover, yeah, or you should know, yeah. And on that model, you can see different kind of levels, how I decompose this idea. The first level is a mindset and professional behavior key representative, yeah. What kind of behavior skills you should train if you go into project management direction, if you go into delivery management direction, or even more in product management direction, yeah. The second level in that model that could be useful for you, definitely, this is a checklist. Again, this is a checklist of excellence in main knowledge bases. What kind of knowledge bases you should cover when you want to go to this direction? And the third level of this model explain us how much time that it will take from your side when you're going to do that. I think, for example, approximately these numbers is not random numbers. Yep, guys, these numbers came from the practice and my personal investigation. So I propose to confirm this with your experience, or maybe propose a little bit another vision on that. It's a discussion. It's our discussion on concrete things, but in general on practice. For example, average. Average. In average. Yep. In average understanding. Yep. I can say that. To migrate from business analyst level to from business analyst role and to get the competency in project management area, it will take from your side up to from 3 up to 8 months of your efforts. It depends, guys, again, on the conditions and professional level of concrete business analysts who want to go to migrate to project management area. Of course. And but at the same time, I think that from practice, I saw this dependency. I saw this relation, yep, from 3 months up to 8 months. For delivery management, from 6 months up to 12 months. And for product management, from 8 months up to 14 months. Why? Why? You can ask me why these numbers is not how to say these numbers is not where is not less. Yep, these numbers are pretty good. I mean, in the equal of these numbers. Yep, 8 months, it's up to 1 year. 14 months, it's up to 1 year and a half approximately. But I can say you guys that it's not only about these numbers came from the practice. It's not only about the knowledge area that you could cover pretty fast, but this is about experience that you should get to take needed to make, yeah, to burn needed experience in general, and to try to fill this role on practice. So that is why you could use this model and think about your ways, personal ways, personal plans. You can discuss this checklist with your mentors, with your RMs, I think, and get from their side some kind of recommendations also. And this is some kind of direction where and vision that you could use when you go into some when you go to get some additional competencies on professional level. Of course, at the end of at the bottom part of this model, you can see also interaction with development team. This is only accents with the knowledge areas that you should know. And also some kind of personal BA characteristics that you should provide when you're going to interact with development team. I want to share this model with you guys. Please use that and maybe prepare some questions. But how to combine roles correctly? It's also a good question for us. Yep, it's also a good question. And we have a simple approach, but approach with some specific. As you can see, guys, when you, for example, you can use this approach, this concrete, how to say, model again, to when you faced with the issue, or when you should combine your business analyst role at the project with other role. So the main idea of this matrix is simple. We have role A, just an example. We have role B, just an example. In main fields or parts, you should combine functions, objects that you're going to work with, and processes that you're going to participate in. And at the cross lines, you should should provide information about the roles, objects, roles, functions. Yep. And the main idea of this exercise to get know when you fulfill the main part of this matrix or table, to understand what kind of duplications and gaps do you have. And this work is not easy. This matrix I made a couple of times in my life, in my personal project's life, and I think that I can say that these metrics are pretty big when you describe everything, decompose everything. But these metrics provide you absolutely valuable information where you have the gaps. You can show these metrics to your management and maybe ask them about some kind of help, some kind of coverage of some things, etc., etc., etc. So don't forget about that, and please use that, because all this stuff is doing to identify new role influence. Yep, influence on the project. We need to understand what if we want to combine some kind of roles, what kind of effect will we have on functions level, on objects level, on processes level. This is also, I think, helpful information for you, and I want to go forward and provide to you guys some kind of key abilities for cross-functional work combining, because Cross-functional work combining means on practice double load. Really, this is the biggest minus of this approach. It's obvious minus. It's obvious cons of this approach, really, and everyone knows about that. Some guys don't like that. Don't like that. Some guys are fans of multitasking and multi-role combining, but all these thoughts they have some rights. They have some sense in our real life. Yep. So what we have in that list, what kind of characteristics you should train when we speaking about cross-functional work? First of all, work permanent overload absence. Yep. You will definitely have some kind of overload from time to time when you combine some roles. But work permanent overload absence. This is a really important thing, because this thing depends on how you can organize the process, how you can rebuild this process, the process of your work in your role, in a cross-functional role, and it depends on you, really. Not up to 100%, but in the biggest part of them. The next is a good mental and physical conditions. Absolutely. It's a basis. No comments, it's definition. Yep. Enough proposed roles experience. Sure, you should have enough experience. Management support. Without managerial support, you can't combine you can't provide the cross-functional work at all. Team acceptance and understanding. Yep, sure, because you have also team support. Client consent. Absolutely yes. Definitely yes. And I saw a couple of projects when managers decided to combine some kind of roles and save the budget, but they just said this fact to the client. And they had some kind of escalations because client wasn't ready to provide this approach in practice. So please make sure that you have the client consent. Stable and defined work processes. Absolutely yes, because only when you have the controllable processes up under your control, strictly defined, well-sharped, very well applied on practice, and team support from the team side, you can easily, with this approach, combine key roles at the project. Only in that case as well. So this is some kind of reminder, very important reminder, guys, don't forget about. And the last slide is about our top recommendations, top 10 recommendations, how to develop BA cross-functional competency in general. So first of all, guys, please try to develop your communication skills. Communication is our all. It's our life. So please don't forget about. And every time when you think about the cross-functional work in a couple of roles at the project, you should understand that your communication load will increase. That is why you need to develop your communication skills. The next one, deep dive into specific of other roles activities. Step by step, if you are interested in that approach or in that experience, cross-functional work, you should definitely step by step try to cover, on practice, try to deep dive in the sense of our roles activities. It's a common thing, but it's the first step on your way to be involved in different roles interaction. Yes, sure. Not only communicate from the side of your role, current role. but you need to but you need to be involved in the key communications, yeah, in the key communication at the project between different roles. Activate the monitoring and analysis skills. Sure. Take a part in special certification programs. You need to increase your knowledge. Definitely T-shaped model. You know about that. I remind about that, so you know for what we should do that. Take a part, a co-lead needed zones of responsibilities. Yes, sure. When you deep dive in a specific of other roles activities, the next step for you on practice is co-lead in some zones of responsibilities of other roles. So you try to provide some kind of support with duplication of some activities of other roles. Help other project roles permanently. Yes, sure, it's also a good way to conduct some such kind of experience. To be a coach for other project roles, not only from perspective of your knowledge, but as well you can share the experience of your interactions with different roles, your personal experience, your personal thoughts, something new that you can't read in the articles or books, etc. So please provide that and interact much better after these exercises. Best practices sharing, lessons learned sharing, etc. Stay proactive and in interaction. Not only you should not only communicate very well, you should stay proactive, because cross-functional role and on practice, especially when BA combines some role. For example, business analyst, project coordinator, business analyst, scrum master, business analyst, product owner, etc. It means that you should turn faster than others. So you need to be proactive person. And you need to play this, you need to have this behavior to play this role. And the last one, wish to try something new and study every day. You should be open-minded person. Definitely yes. So these 10 recommendations is also, guys, some kind of checklist of your behavior, practical behavior or practical skills. You can just analyze yourself and think how many points you cover right now in this list, and this will help you to understand, are you ready, or are you ready, yep, to conduct cross-functional role on your project. I think that I want to end my speech with one more quote, but this time from Confucius. The practice is the main criterion of truth. Don't forget about that, because cross-functional interaction, cross-functional roles, work or interaction at the project, this is some kind of holy war topic in our professional life. We have two groups. One group is fans of pure roles, and the other group is fans of cross-functional, combining, trying something new, etc. So the practice in the middle. The truth in the middle. So practice is the main criterion of truth. Don't forget about that. And right now we have enough time for Q&A session. Thank you. Tatiana?
Yeah, thank you, Dmitry. Before moving to our Q&A session, I would like also to announce our roundtable that will be in like 2 weeks on the 10th of March. That will be also devoted to the same topic, cross functionality of a business analyst. I will drop the link to the chat so you can register if you're interested in this topic. And also, just small announcement, another one. If you like today's presentation, you can say thank you to Dmitry or even to me and rate the event itself on the page I've just dropped in the chat. So you can also say thank you to our team. We would
Tatiana.
appreciate. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you for this announcement, and I think that I have one more announcement. Yep, that we shouldn't be forgotten. So I think that you guys knows about our global BA community initiatives, and this year we started this initiative about BA's cross-functional competencies, and in general cross-functional BA level up, initiative. So please, if you want to join to this initiative, if you are interested in that question, in that topic, please contact me or with our coordinators, and we will be happy, to cooperate with you guys. So thank you, Tatiana.
Yeah, thank you. We have a couple of questions so far.
Great. Great.
So the first one is from Lubov. How to convince clients stream lead that QA professionals test better than BAs? This project uses BAs as testers, and they don't want to change this practice. What do you think, Dmitry?
Great question. I think that we have, in reality, thank you for this question. In reality, we have a couple of options, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. The first one, we can just coach BAs in in QA areas, in QA area or in QA domain, because this is an obvious way, and if clients have some kind of strict vision on that, the client don't want to change this vision for some reasons, etc., etc. The second option that we have, in general, if we see that our business analysts, they don't want to make this to do this work for some reasons, and you see that you could face, or maybe you could face, or maybe you faced with an issue when people leave the project because of this reason. I mean BAs, and you need to do something. Let's brainstorm what you can do. What you can do. First of all, you need to understand what kind of share of the load, of this load, I mean business analyst load and QA load, combining in that role. If this is if the QA share is not so big, so maybe this is not so big trouble, for us. At the same time, does our BAs just make they work on time? This is also some kind of KPI that can help you to understand the question of load a little bit deeply. And if they conducted their work, their main tasks on time, and they provided a great results of their work, everything is also not so bad. But if we have some troubles, if business analysts can't do excellent or pretty well their work, they need to you need to do with that issue something. And the next step, I think, will be to investigate the reasons why this is a common practice at your project. You need to understand the reasons. You need to understand the motivation of the client in that question. If client just want to save the money, it's one case. If client had some kind of another, maybe bad cases in their previous experience with QAs, etc., it could be another story. So you need to understand motivation. When you're going to understand motivation of your client, I think based on the current information of BA load and BA excellence excellence of BA's work, you could provide for to your client a couple of options. Yep. So first of all, you can propose some variant to involve some juniors, yeah, or middle guys, middle QAs at the project. It won't cost to your client so much, but at the same time, business analysts when the load of QAs came to QA guys, yeah, business analyst going to provide maybe a little bit better decisions, a little bit better solutions, investigations, etc., etc., etc. It's this is really this approach could be really helpful for your client. But in a specific of business analyst roles. Case or question. Yep. If your client doesn't want to change this approach, yep, you can provide to your client proposal with the next sense. Yep. You can provide to the client idea to divide maybe this business analyst group into two parts and maybe change these parts from time to time when your guys, some of your guys of business analysts can do their work, specify work. Some of guys can test that. After that, they change, vice versa, etc. So at the same time, this is some kind of try to make steps to make steps on descent, yeah, without without any unwanted conclusions or consequence or just results. Yep. I think that this is a couple of options, and in general, you get the idea. So you need to understand. Do we have the tragedy when our BAs, for example, they have some kind of load up to 20% in business analysis area and up to 80% in QA area? Yes, sure, it's not a good practice in that case, but if the share of this load equal or QA load is less, it's another story. And you can propose a couple of options to your client. In other case, we have also the third option. You can propose, you can convenient client. You can try to convenient client to make some separate role, QA role at the project. Based on results, yeah, of the work. If client is not really happy up to 100% with results, you can just highlight the option how QAs, professional QAs, could help you in that case. So a lot of things you should cover in that question, and you have in reality you have different options. So it depends on context of project case. Thank you.
Thank you, Dmitry. It was a very extended answer to the question. So we have a couple of more, and we have like 5 minutes before the end of the event. So please, let's try to answer them. So could you please go back to the diagram with functions, objects, processes, and explain what each of these terms mean in real life, and how to build these roles in the intersection table using a couple of real-life examples?
Okay, functions.
Let's to be brief, please. Okay.
Okay. So I will try to be laconic. So first of all, what does it mean, functions? Functions means that real functions that you have in your specific role description. Yep, specific role description. Processes. It means that the name of the processes that you are involved when you going to work when you working when you work at when you are working on your project. Yeah, processes. So testing process, development process, requirements solicitation process, etc., etc., etc. So a lot of things. Yeah, SDLC cycle, etc. So you need to understand your place in the processes model. I always recommend to you guys to make the full diagram, BPMN diagram on the whole or common workflow in details, with including of all sub processes in that general workflow, and with the roles identifying for each step, for each process, etc. Because you need to see the cross lines behind the roles on processes level. Yep. And objects level, it means with what objects you going to work, or what kind of objects you going to produce as the results of your work. Yep. So this means that this is a level of artifacts, work artifacts. Yep. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks. And the last one for today, from Francesco. I think one of the most critical aspects of the cross-functional approach is to clearly communicate to the team and stakeholders your role and the scope of your responsibilities. Yes, for sure. So what kind of communication do you think should be given to avoid misunderstandings, especially when there is no experience with this type of approach?
Great question. I think the greatest one.
Okay, Francesco, you'll be granted with the badge.
Definitely. So I like this question very much, and I want to provide the next answer. When we talk about communication, this means, guys, that we need to understand a couple of things, or we should take in account a couple of things, definitely, especially for cross-functional roles. First of all, you need to provide to the team the strict vision of the process. Again, come back to the workflow model. Yep. You should identify the zones of responsibility graphically on that in that process, and highlight this new cross-functional role for all team members. The same exercise you should do with your stakeholders. And you should provide some kind of expectations and results table that are expected from this role. Yeah, from this role. Sometimes on practice, you're going to have not only one discussion. Sometimes you could have the row of discussion behind you and team behind you, between you and stakeholders, etc. So please don't forget about that. And I think the best option is the next. On examples, or use with example with different kind of examples usage, you should step by step implement these roles activities and provide some kind of lessons learned or best practices. Oh, guys, you see, if we can combine business analyst, if we combined the business analyst role and project coordinator role, yep, you or we can, for example, cut not needed activities of communication, and this guy who combine these roles can provide you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decision or artifacts in that case, because this information just covered by himself, yeah, in one role. And you should provide some kind of great examples from your practice, and step by step implement simple things in your on that way, and convince the team by examples that this is a good approach in your specific, again, in your specific project case. I had such experience on big healthcare project in 2018-2019. And this approach worked well. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dmitry, so much. And we are already done, I think. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for attendance. And sorry for delay once again. Hope to see you on our next events. And just let me remind you that we will have a roundtable, and it will be a very interesting discussion regarding what are advantages and disadvantages of being a cross-functional BA. So let's meet on the 10th of March, and have a good day, have a good weekend, and thank you.
Thank you, guys. And don't forget that with our community, all of us growing up. Thank you so much. See you.
Bye.